All right, traders, today is May 3rd, 2024. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Let's take a look at some charts to see how the week ended for the markets. So let's start off with the SPY. Okay, SPY on the daily chart. Let's see what we got here. Let's move this out of the way. We don't need that right now. Okay, so nice gap up. So we have an open gap underneath here. So gap up, and we are now on top of the all-time high anchored VWAP. Now recently, we have not been able to have a complete candle over the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, you can see we spiked it, spiked it there, touched it there, and spiked it again here. All right, this is the first time we close over the all-time high anchored VWAP. What I want to see is consolidation on top of it, and then a breakout, start to climb up these breakdown candles over here. Okay, so there's SPY. All right, higher low, higher high, closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Money's coming into the market. At least it has the appearance that it does. Closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, and making a higher high. Okay, so we have an uptrend in SPY. And we're on the other side of this downtrend line. We'll see how long we can hold on to this. All right, it's just one candle. So we'll see if we can get some follow through with it. So there's SPY on the daily. Let's look at it on the 2 hour. In the 2 hour, we have a 2 hour uptrend. In the 10 minute, we have 10-minute consolidation right through here. Okay, so we're looking for, on Monday, green erases red entries. All right, unless, of course, we gap down and we do something funky, okay? We're looking for green erases red entries. So here we are consolidating over on the top of that all-time high anchored VWAP. Notice here we got underneath it, we couldn't get through. Okay, let's look back. Yeah, this is the first time we start to consolidate on top of it. Now, it's only one day, so let's not get too excited. All right, so there's the 10-minute. We're looking for green erases red on Monday. For a pivot, well, I'm just going to put, you know what I'm going to put? I'm going to put this, the all-time high anchored VWAP, right about there. 509.50, 509.58. It's going to be my pivot. All right, so let's move this up. 509, what did I say? 58, right about there. 54, 509.54. That's going to be the pivot.
Order filled.
So let me write that down so we don't forget it, you know. So we'll have it for, you know, Monday. Pivot for Monday. $509.54. Okay, so above it I'm a bull, below it I'm a bear. That's it. Okay, because if we get below, then we're coming down here. If we stay up on top and consolidate, that would be a bullish sign, and I'd look for higher highs. Okay, so there's our pivot for Monday. All right, let's take a look at some of the other charts, or we can just examine this a little bit. We have an uptrend channel. Okay, we had the 3-touch right here, and we wound up coming back through, and then we had a harsh pullback, failed to make a significant lower low, and we ran off and made a higher high right there. We still haven't touched the other side of the channel. That would be a target for Monday or Tuesday, is somewhere up around this 817 area. Okay, they may not get there. They may only get to 515. Heck, if they can just get on top of 512.70, that would be fantastic. Getting on top of 515.75 would be huge. 515.15 would be really big. All right, so that's what we'd like to see for Monday. I got a feeling probably may consolidate a little bit more and then break out in the afternoon for Monday. We'll see what they want to do. The big thing is hold it over the anchored VWAP, and that's the red line. All right, so let's take a look at some of the other. You can see here's our downtrend line, and we broke over the downtrend line. Here's our uptrend channel. We fell out, and we recaptured the channel. So we're back inside the uptrend channel, and we're breaking through the downtrend line. That would be diagonal resistance right there. Okay, I'm going to flip to something different that's just a little bit cleaner. There we go. Okay, so pivot for Monday is right there. So let's go back to the daily chart. Let's look at QQQ. QQQ, higher low, higher high, gapped up, nice gap up. Closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, making a higher low and a higher high. QQQ now in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. To me, it looks like a bear flag. All right, but it is making higher lows and higher highs. So there's QQQ. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, same thing happening here. We got a high, made a higher low. Now we've got a higher high, so we're now in an uptrend for Diamond Dow. Again, gap up, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. I got a feeling I'm going to be repeating that on an awful lot today. All right, so there's Diamond Dow. IWM. IWM, all right, making a higher high and a higher low, putting it in an uptrend. Gap up, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA, all right? Sounds like deja vu. Little uptrend there. Again, these still look like bear flags, all right? Even though they are in uptrends, they still look like bear flags. There's IWM. FNGU. Higher low, higher high. Got ourselves a little mini uptrend going on, okay? Gapped up, closed, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, again, over the 17 EMA. All right, got a little mini uptrend. Just starting out, all right? So we'll see if they can hang on to that. Again, it still looks like a bearish flag, all right? Even though we do have a little mini uptrend. All right, so that's FNGU. Let's take a look at, our technicals. Okay, for the technicals, for the third, that would be today. All right, we jumped up into the oversold zone, or, yeah, the overbought zone, excuse me. Overbought zone. And
stop filled.
For the rest of the day, we chopped around inside the buy zone. The bears tried to throw us out, but we bullied our way right back in. All right, so we were thrown out of the overbought zone, but we managed to climb back in and stay in the buy zone for most of the day. Okay, so there's T2122. Notice higher low here and the higher high from this high right here. Notice the higher high. And over here now we've got a lower high and a lower high and another lower high and another even lower high. Okay, but still hanging on to those lows. So those higher lows are kind of holding in there right now. T2123. Green from beginning to end of day. That's T2123 15-minute chart. And I like to see that. We're on the top side of that 200 SMA. I love that. Let's see what the 3-bar looks like. We still melted through this rising 200 SMA. But we have a changing color. 3 green ones right here. So we'll see, is this just a setup before the next leg down? We'll see what happens.
Stop filled.
Has the selling ended, all right? And Are we now on our way back up? We'll have to see what happens next week. All right, so there's T2123 3-bar, FNGU green from yesterday's noon o'clock hour, 1:15, all the way up until today's closing hour. Okay, so that's where we are with that. And I guess the SPY is popping. Like I'm looking at my futures in the aftermarket. All right, FNGU. Now let's go take a look at some of the other sectors around, and we'll go back to this chart. Let's start off with SLV. Okay, SLV, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap under the 17 EMA. I got to tell you, that looks like a downtrend. We've got lower highs and lower lows. I'm just going to call it a downtrend. This was a nice uptrend right here, but they have not been able to either consolidate bullishly, and they've managed to put in a low and now a lower low. So that's a downtrend for me. So SLV and a downtrend right now. It is big bullish flag. All right, just like our bearish flag, this is a bullish flag, but this is a downtrend right there. So gold right here, again, same thing. Low, made a lower low. All right, so what we got here is a downtrend. This is a bullish flag, even though it pulls back like that. Those are the best kind, the kind that move up and kind of do an angle back instead of straight across. They do an angle back, like a 30-degree angle cut back, and then they rip from there. So this is the best kind of flag in actuality. So there's gold in a downtrend, putting in a lower high and lower low, closing under the bearish trap under the 17 EMA. There's gold. Let's take a look at energy, USO. Lower high, lower low, closing downtrend as well. Under the bearish trap, under the 17 EMA. Okay, notice we've got a low and we're putting in lower lows. Okay, so USO, downtrend. All right, bearish right there. Lower high too. Got this high, double top high, got a lower high, and made a lower low. So there's USO in a downtrend. All right, that is a bull flag. Okay, those are the best kind right there. That's a bull flag, but it is a downtrend right there. Same with the the SPY and the QQQ, the Fab 5. These are bear flags, even though we have a little mini uptrend right here. These are bear flags, but we do have a mini uptrend going on right there in the Fab 5. They're all doing about the same thing right there. So let's go back and take a look at, let's look at the US dollar, okay, because that's important that we look at that. All right, and why they do this to me, I don't know. And we're going to have to come back to that, okay? They just don't want to cooperate today. Let's try doing it again. We'll go do some other stuff while it's firing up. My power went off, so... Oh, here we go. We got a live one. And let's hit daily chart. So we had a pullback in the dollar today. And I want to see how far it got. If it got... All right, so here's the pullback to the dollar today, okay? Notice, lower high, lower low. We spiked this 100 or this 50 SMA right there. Okay, so we spiked that 50 SMA. And this would be the uptrend line. We spiked the uptrend line. Okay, and this blue line, that's the 200 SMA right there. So it looks like we spiked the 50 SMA, and we didn't get close enough to the 200 SMA. So question is, now that they spiked this and the downtrend line, how much higher are they going to go? Are they going to be able to retrace all of this? Is there enough spinach and energy in this 50 SMA and this uptrend line to push price all the way back up here and higher. Now, the good thing is when dollar comes down, our markets rally. So if this keeps dropping in, we could see 520 in the SPY again. So we'll see what happens. So there's the dollar index. Again, strong dollar is not good for our GDP because it makes us less competitive when we sell our goods and services to foreign countries because the conversion rate is so high because we have a strong dollar, meaning it takes more of their money to pay us off for the goods and services that we sell them. All right, so again, strong dollar is not good. This was a good thing for the bulls in the markets today. All right, let's take a look at some other stuff. Let's take a look at SMH. SMH, still in a downtrend, have not made the higher high, did make the higher low. All right, still in a downtrend. And we do have a downtrend line right there, still underneath that downtrend line, and still have not made the higher high. So SMH today, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. That's SMH. Let's take a look at IYT. All right, IYT. All right, let's go look at it because sometimes they do something funky with this. All right, so here's the real numbers right here. There's the low. Here's the high. Now we go back to the daily chart. Okay, so this was the low, so made a higher low and a higher high, and they closed over the bearish trap, probably over the bearish cross, the bullish cross, because that would bring the 3 up through that white line. So closing over the bullish cross and under the 17 EMA, right? Because they closed at the low of day. Yep. And under the 17 EMA. All right, so they went up and they came down, so they're closing underneath the 17 EMA, but higher low, higher high. The transports still in a downtrend. SMH still in a downtrend. XLK in an uptrend, higher low and made a higher high. Just a one candle high, okay? But still started the uptrend today, making that higher high. All right, so there's XLK, higher low, higher high. Gapped up, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish cross over the 17 EMA. UNG, let's take a look at that. We didn't look at that, and we need to look at USO. UNG, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA, spiking the downtrend line pretty violently there, spiking that. Maybe they can pass over it and then consolidate over here, making higher lows and higher highs. We'll see. Still in a downtrend. Well, this candle right here puts them in an uptrend. And I tell you why, because we've got a double bottom here that's higher than this low, and we've got a top that's higher than this high. So we have a higher low and a higher high, puts us in an uptrend right now. Breaking the downtrend line, but you never know. Tomorrow they could come in with a red candle and push it right, stuff it right back down underneath there. So we'll see what happens. So there's UNG starting an uptrend. USO. USO in a downtrend, lower high and lower lows. And what do we got here? Lower high, lower low on the daily candle, closing underneath the bearish trap, underneath the 17 EMA. So there's USO in a downtrend. One more sector. Let's take a look at XLF. XLF still in a downtrend, putting in well, you got a low here, we made a lower low. So it's still in a downtrend till we break out over this high or make a new high over here. So XLF still in a downtrend. IYT still in a downtrend. IWM in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. And we did SMH, IYT, and XLF. All right. So that's it, traders. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I am grateful. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for being here. And a question. Do you keep... Yeah, I got that. Do you think SPY daily could setting up for a blue ice failure? All right, let's go look. You're speaking about the daily chart, right? Hey, thanks, Alan, Marley, Doug. Yeah. Hey, Malcolm. We're underneath it. We failed here, but we didn't make lower lows. Okay? But we haven't gotten over the top and consolidated. The good news is we got on top of this consolidation from here. See the all-time high anchored VWAP? We got up there and we consolidated ever so slightly on the 10-minute chart. Okay, but it takes more than that. It takes, you want to see days and days of consolidation, not just 4 hours of consolidation. You want to see, some kind of, meaning to it, all right? Because you don't want to get tossed out by the bears the very next day. Yes, this could be setting up for the blue ice failure because that is a bear flag. So the answer to your question, could it be? Yes, it could be. Why are you showing the 4 indicators? I use them on this chart right here, Malcolm. Right here. I use them there. I have so much on my chart that I don't have room for everything that I want to show you. I'm using them because I found a way for me to find success with them. I had them in 2023, but I didn't use them, and I wasn't that proficient at using them. But, I mean, I'm still not dependent on indicators, you know? You said it yourself, like indicators can just drive you nuts, right? So, it's just something for me when I'm doing futures now and I want to have something for myself, so that I have, I'm just going to be conservative with my trading in the futures because it's only an evaluation account. I only have like 2,500 that I can lose in that account because it's a trailing drawdown. And I can't afford to mess up the evaluation account. Yeah, they do lead to anger. Yes, they do. If you don't know how to use them, they will lead to anger. Yeah, they're difficult. I'm not dependent on them. What I am dependent on is price action, making higher lows and higher highs, the different time frames, and the moving average. The 3, the 8, the 17, and VWAP and anchored VWAP. Those are my tried and true. Having the other 4 that I just exposed those probably yesterday, I just I'm not proficient at them. That's why I didn't share them. You know what I'm saying? I could have RSI. I don't know how it works. I could have ATX. I don't know how it works. You know, if I don't know how it works, what's the sense of me, sharing it with y'all? I don't even have anything to tell you. Oh well, that's what it is. So I'm not proficient at them. I don't use them religiously. I use price action more than anything, and moving averages with VWAP and anchored VWAP. You know, I'm still the same trader you saw in 2023. Yeah, it's because it was the small account. That was the small account webinar, and I'm experiencing the small account right now. All right, I'm trading the futures, but I'm only trading the ES. Okay, so um, that's it. I'm just trading the ES, and I can only lose $2,500. Now I haven't lost any yet, but that's all I got. It's a 50,000 account, and it cost me $38 to open that $50,000 account, and I get to trade it for a whole month. But I have rules on how I can trade it. I can't lose more than X amount, and I have a trailing drawdown, so that if I go up and then I pull back and lose those profits, it goes against me. Yes, it is. It is a trade our money account. Yes, it is. And I'm going through the evaluation. So trading the small account webinar was kind of fit right in my pocket there, because that's exactly what I'm going through. And I figure I would share some of the indicators that have helped me pass evaluations before. Well, I will see if it works. Let me pass the evaluation, make some profit, and see if they pay me. All right. That's ultimately it works, is when you make your profit and they pay you. So we'll see what happens. All right. It's an experiment, and that's all it is. It's an experiment. Yeah, I do. I do, because I'm watching a lot of people, and they're making, they've got $2 million in funding, and I think I can do it. I have to come up with really good rules so that I don't blow up my accounts, though. Okay? And sometimes having something that says, stop and go might help me just a little bit. And hence, that's where the indicators came in. No, they won't work at all. They will not work. No, I have to be like super careful with this. Yeah. Whenever I get gains, I have to lock them in. So, like if I trade the micro, I kind of go over to the QQQ or the NASDAQ and short the NASDAQ, so I can kind of lock in my gains. It's a way of hedging. You go from one to the other in order to hedge it. So let's say you're up in one and I go over to the other one. Or let's say I'm up in the ES and then I start hedging it with the minis. So it's a different strategy, and it's a process, and I'm working through it. No, it won't. No, they can. They can. Believe me, they go really fast. The money disappears really fast in futures. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the options side of it. I'm just trading the futures by themselves. They're very volatile themselves. Just the futures. No, I'm not. I can. Okay, that's a great question. I can hold. I can. I have to be flat over the weekend. All right. And I have to be flat between the hours of 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So, in other words, I have to shut everything down, but then I can reopen it at 6 p.m. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you got your own account and you're not using their money, you don't have any rules. You know, you don't have rules. You just do what you want to do. But I'm using their money and I'm playing their game with their rules, so I have to do what they say. Yeah, I don't know anything about the clearing period. I'm just more focused in on passing the evaluation and trading it. Now, I'm going to say I trade the futures much in the same way that I trade the SPY options. As soon as I see a 10-minute uptrend, I'm in. Especially when it's over anchored VWAP and I got room to move overhead. So I'm trading this. I'm actually trading the same thing, except when as soon as I get my real account, when I get it, if I get it, I'm not gonna get too far ahead of myself. But if I get that real account, and I do plan on getting one, I trade it much in the same way as the SPY. So whenever I'm long calls on the SPY, I'm also long on the MESM4 or the ESM4. So it's the same. It's the same thing. The tax when you do futures, I'm going to tell you the tax is different than on options on the SPY and shares in the stock market. It's much cleaner. It's much simpler. It's incredibly easy for your taxes. I don't know that they close at 5 because I know you're allowed to. If you have your own account, you can hold it past 5. It's just for this company, I'm following their rules. I have to be flat by 5. Oh, you're explaining it to me. Yes. Yeah. Yes, you're explaining it to me. Thank you. Yes, they want right. They want me flat for the clearing period. Plus, they want to report. Hey John, you made money today. Hey John, you lost money today. Yeah. I mean, if they're going to give you real money to trade, they're going to keep track of who you are and what you're doing. They're not just going to hand you money to trade. But I mean, I'm excited because I'm already trading the SPY options. So the ES is not that different. It really isn't. And if you want to talk to me, Skype me. I mean, I'll tell you everything I know. Or you can, come in Monday and ask me questions. I'll be glad to answer as much as I know. I don't know everything. I'm just now entering it. And I know a lot of people in the room have asked me to do futures. And I said, maybe someday, maybe. They've been telling me, John, come on over to the dark side. And I said, one day I'm going to do it. And that day came. You can, hey Malcolm, I don't know if you got this one right here. I think it's Trading View. That one. If you can get this guy, let's just see if it happens. All right, let's see. I think you could do this right in Trading View. I'm not for certain, but you could just paper trade right in Trading View. And let me just see if I can get MES on there. I was trying to get it earlier. There it is. All right, so you can see, you can look at the price action here, and then let's just kind of embed that in your memory, and then just look at if that's not the same thing, I don't know what is. All right, that's today's price action on the 10-minute chart. That's today's price action. Is that a 5-minute chart? I think that's either a 10 or a 5-minute chart. So, I mean, it's the same thing. They both move. The taxes are easier on you when you do the futures. I've heard that. I'm trying to open up an LLC. Yeah, you can do ES or MES. Either one. Now the MES, I do know is 10. It takes 10 MES to make one ES. Yeah, takes 10 of the MES to make one ES. Yeah. And they all track the SPY. I mean, they track the SPY. Same way that, you know, if FNGU moves, this moves, SPY moves, the futures move, and they all move together like a herd. Hey, thanks, Brent. Appreciate that. Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah, it's a 10x factor. That's right.